I'm back taking a look at 4K projectors. Now, the last two models, they were very expensive. I have something now that is a lot more affordable. It's from Dangbei. It is the DBOX02 Pro. And this model here, for its price point, offers a lot. So we have 4K image, laser projector right here, up to 2000 ISO lumens, so it's bright. Built-in speakers, they're 12 watts each. It's running Google TV, and we have auto keystone correction, autofocus, and it works really well. And so far, my time testing it out, I think this is a great value projector considering the brightness and the spec on offer. So included, you will find our typical Android TV remote, dedicated buttons there for YouTube, Netflix, and Prime Video, user manual, 2 AAA batteries, and our power supply. Alright, so before I jump into some tests and the image quality and everything else, let's have a quick look at the design of it. The ports along the back here, you'll see from the left side to the right, we have a 3.5mm audio jack. There are 2 Type A USB 2.0s, HDMI, this one right here is the eARC supporting one, the first one, and another second HDMI port. Then we have our optical in there for audio, or should I say optical out, and then a LAN port. So you don't have to use wireless with this. You can plug in your own network. And what we're seeing with previous models from Dangbei is we've got the 360-degree base of it. And that means, of course, I can spin it right around. And this is great for just setting it up wherever. You can just have it down, point it at a wall, and away you go. Because of the auto keystone correction, autofocus, that's all set up straight away. So it is really seamless. So as I move it about here, you can also aim this if you wanted to. You can aim it straight up at the ceiling, and then you can aim it down 120 degrees, which is very handy. So we have some speakers built in here. They're 12 watts each, those speakers, and they're using a 600 milliliter sound chamber there of those 2 12-watt speakers. So one right here and one on the other. So other side. So you do get some stereo separation, which is very handy to have. Up the front here, you'll see that, yes, it's stating that it is definitely 4K. And we're looking at 2000 ISO lumens, as I mentioned there in the intro. And the color gamut is very good. So we've got 108% coverage of REC-709, which is great for a laser projector here. And we also have their Insta Pro. That's the AI image setup. So that's going to be doing everything for us and just make it all flawless. Now you see right here, we've got a small little camera. That's the time of flight and another sensor there. So this is how it can detect any obstacles in the way, dim the image, and the auto keystone correction and the autofocus using the test image. That camera's going to see it and then get that focus pretty much perfect. And it does support not only the 4K, but we get HDR10+. The power button, well, that is located right here. So I have the projector approximately 290 centimeters. That's around about 10 feet away from my ALR screen. And I am projecting at an estimated just over 100 inches because this screen is 120. Now, being ALR, it will improve the image quality. Now, even with a bright studio light aiming at the screen, you can still see the projected image rather well. I mean, it's not the best. You want to be in a completely dark room if possible. That will give you the maximum quality. But if you've got ambient light coming in, you're going to use it during the day. You have perhaps a window that you can't block. You don't have a blind for it. Then, well, you can still use it. As you can see here, the 2000 ISO lumens is holding up well. Now I have all my blinds closed, the ambient light is off, so it's pretty much not quite pitch black, but we are looking at what it is under ideal conditions, and of course with the ALR screen looking a little bit better than you'd expect. Now we've got Google TV on board, and that means we've got a huge array of applications. All your favorite streaming services and apps are there. So YouTube's there, Amazon Prime Video, Disney Plus, and as I pointed out there, when we took a look at the unboxing, dedicated buttons on the remote for YouTube, Netflix, and Prime Video. So I do have Prime Video that I've got up and running, or this one is, no, in fact, Netflix, and I'll just quickly resume this because I want to test out the performance. Are we going to see a slowdown with the caching, What I have noticed, the only real complaint from me is sometimes when I go through this menu, maybe you're seeing it now, it can feel a little bit choppy if you go too fast. Like there is the initial load in when you first power it on. You will notice that things are a little bit slower, but let me go into Netflix. I haven't run it on this boot, so we'll do that. We'll jump into, if I can find it again, Vikings Valhalla. I know this is in 4K. The menu should tell us, but I do believe it's probably just going to go straight into it. There it is, caching. Okay, Netflix menu, so it's just loading in first. So this is a standard speed. And now that did load in very quick. And you can see, well, Stranger Things, and I still haven't watched that last season. I'm still behind. I'm on the 4th season. And everything here has loaded in. I must say that Netflix itself is loading faster than the homepage for Google TV. I think because Google TV has so much going on, that's probably why it takes so long. So I'll go into that Vikings Valhalla. Okay, that just starts straight away, and I can see that it supports HDR, 4K. And I'll just show you a few seconds of footage here, because obviously for copyright reasons, I can't really show you much more. Okay, and I can see plenty of details there. Movement is looking good. And I'm not noticing any speckle either, which can sometimes happen with laser projectors. No speckle. Ghosting, none of that either. And the optics is good. I'm not seeing the edges being blurry. It's a uniform sharpness across the board, which is excellent. As for projector specific settings, there are a few. So we have our focus. There's the manual focus. You've got the autofocus, which for me works absolutely fine. I've had no issues with it, and I prefer to just keep it on the autofocus, and I'll demonstrate that later on, that when you move it about, it only takes around about 7 seconds or so to sort itself out. That's the keystone and the autofocus. Advanced there, you can have it do it on startup after movement, which I recommend keeping that on. Deep focus always on, auto deep focus for clearer image. You can enable this, but it will take a little bit longer. You have your image correction, which is the auto keystone correction, manual, fit to screen, and image adaptation. So I recommend just to leave that as default. Bluetooth speaker mode, so you can use those dual 12-watt speakers as a Bluetooth speaker, as the name suggests there. And we have some advanced settings. So we have the eye projection will automatically dim. So I can demonstrate that now. So imagine a small child walks in front. It will then detect that, and you see that smart eye prediction. That pops up. So I'll do that again. And that is going to stop someone from possibly damaging their eyes there. Projection mode. So if you wanted to have this on a ceiling, so you got front ceiling, rear ceiling, pretty straightforward there. One-click dust removal, a nice little feature to have. So what it will do is ramp up the fan RPM just to blow out any dust that's inside there, because the fan normally is on quite a low setting and you don't normally hear it too much. But when you put it on that, you will hear it, but it's going to blow out any dust. And then finally, there are some Google TV settings. So everything is working well. I can also confirm that Prime Video is working great too. You've got your Disney Plus and YouTube. Now, there is no file manager by default, but you can easily get that. And I have one that's just called File Manager. Installed that, gave it the permissions, and I can then plug in external storage, and I'm able to go along and access that. As it stands, we do have 32 gigabytes on the device itself, which you don't get all of that to use, but you can easily plug in a USB pen drive, access it through this, and the files I've played have all worked fine. It doesn't seem to have any issues with codecs. Everything has played back. But we'll take a look now at YouTube and some more image quality tests. Inside the YouTube app, I can confirm that it works faster again than the homepage of Google TV. So maybe it's something to do with Google TV there. And what I was doing then was just searching 4K demo videos. Of course, you can use the microphone. You have Google Assistant. And here I'm able to search. So 4K HDR demo. There we go. That came up quite quick. And I wanted to find the one I normally test, which is from Katie Swartz. And it is really good. So this is going fast, this menu. So it'll allow me to hopefully find this 4K demo, Costa Rica. There we go. So that's Jacob and Katie Swartz, sorry. So this one is a good test of the HDR, and I'm very pleased what I'm seeing with the sharpness, the colors, the contrast, excellent. For the price range of this projector, which I saw on Amazon, is approximately around the €1,000 mark. You're getting an excellent image here, the HDR 10 Plus, 2000 ISO lumens, and I'm not seeing any of the speckle that you can sometimes see. As I said before, with laser projectors, I'm not seeing any of that. I'm not seeing any ghosting. The optics also does seem to be excellent. Overall, I'm very pleased with the image result that we are getting for the price of around €1,000. This is fantastic. 4K, laser, and stunning, sharp, detailed looking image here. So you can see HDR has just popped up, and what I'm looking at here is the trailer for Avatar. And that also loaded in very quick. And I can see it is looking excellent. Blacks also very good. Yes, my screen is helping here. ALR screen is going to make those blacks look somewhat deeper, and it all depends on your wall. Now, if you project against the black wall, they will look even better. This ALR screen is gray, but really impressed with this image quality for this price point. I think it's fantastic. And then gaming. Yes, it is okay for gaming, for casual gaming. Now, not someone that is professional level and you need a monitor with a refresh rate that is crazy. Of course not. Projector can't compete with that, but we get 4K 60, and that is going to be good enough for some casual gaming. So Dirt 5 is the title that I always like to test out. So we'll see how it runs, how that input lag is going to be, the latency. So while I am noticing a split second of an input delay here, it's not bad. It's enough for casual gaming, as I said, and like the other projector reviews and videos that I have covered, that this is fine for casual gaming. I'm quite happy with this. You get used to that little fraction of a second, the delay there, but really it's not that noticeable. You only really notice it if you're coming from a very high refresh monitor and you're doing some PC gaming perhaps, and you play Counter-Strike, and you'll notice here that, oh, you know, that's not as fast as what you used to. But for this kind of gaming, console gaming, PS5, with Dirt 5, yeah, absolutely fine. So the auto keystone correction and our autofocus, how quick does it work? So you can see the keystone correction working now as I move this about. I even just went off the screen for a second, and up and down and moving it, it detects that and it gets that keystone. Really good. Now, if it looks like it's off slightly, might be my camera. I'm using an ultra wide lens to capture everything. And then we have the option for the autofocus too as well. So you can go along and tap that. And this is the splash screen that it uses in conjunction with the time of flight camera there. And it then gets that focus. So this whole process takes around about 8-9 seconds or so. So it's not the fastest, but the results speak for themselves. It gets that focus probably better than I could. Very sharp. And I'm impressed with the auto keystone correction and the autofocus. Fan noise is something that I always mention with projectors when I do cover them, because some projectors can be annoying and others are very good. And this definitely is in the category of very good. So our DBOX02 Pro has a fan that you can feel some hot air coming out mostly. I think it seems to be on the right side of it. And it is a constant RPM, at least in the time I've been using it. I haven't heard it ramp up unless I put it into that clean mode to blow out the dust. If you sit next to it, you will hear it. But now I'll give you a sample of what it sounds like. And it really is not bad when it comes to 4K projectors, and especially one that has 2000 ISO lumens. Now for audio, we've got two speakers, 12 watts each, and 600 milliliter sound chamber. And that allows the DBOX02 Pro to give us some very good bass considering they're built-in speakers. Overall, I'm quite happy with the way they sound. I think they're excellent. There's a lot of bass there.
good mids and a little bit of treble. So I'll give you a sample track now, and this is at 80% volume.
Okay, so what it comes down to is that the DBOX02 Pro is an excellent unit for the price. I really like what I'm seeing here with the image quality. So there's no annoying speckle, I'm not seeing color fringing issues. Optics seem to be very good. The focus is uniformed as mentioned in the video. I don't see blurry edges. It does not seem to have cheap optics in this at all. It's good enough for some casual gaming. I did find that the HDR does seem to work fine. What you could get out of a projector, this price point, I really see no issues with this model whatsoever. The only thing I did notice, and you sometimes see it with other Google TV projectors, smart projectors, is that it can sometimes, at the beginning, when you first power it on at least, feel a little bit laggy, the UI. It seems to go away after a couple of minutes. And no, there were no updates going on in the background. It just seemed to be like that because when I ran Netflix or Prime Video or YouTube even, that I didn't see any problems then with the performance. It all seemed to be quite smooth and rapid. Built-in speakers have a bit of kick to them thanks to the 600 milliliter sized sound chamber that does have. So it helps with the bass there to resonate more, and the lows seem to come through quite a bit better. I love the design. We've seen it before, of course, from Dangbei, and that is the 360-degree, you can spin it around wherever you want base, and then angle this right up at the ceiling. It's very, very practical to have. And finally, that price point. Some may say, yes, still that around the $1,000 kind of dollar or €1,000 mark is getting a bit expensive, but we are getting a lot here considering that image quality, factoring all of that in, what I've seen compared to, say, the projectors that I've covered that are €5,000. So they will have, yes, a better image quality, as you can imagine. The big thing is the brightness. So they may have, say, 3,500 ISO lumens. We're still getting 2,000 here, which is very decent. Now, the naming convention, the naming system that they have is a little bit confusing because this is the DBOX02 Pro. However, the Pro models, in fact, this is behind the non-Pro model. So the DBOX02 is, in fact, a better unit. That one is a little bit brighter and offers a few more features and image quality that I believe is better than this model. Still, besides the confusing naming right here, they have a great unit for the price. Dangbei, and thank you so much for watching this video.